Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to another episode of Tarot by Hilary Live. I am your hostess with the mostest, Hilary of tarotbyhilary.com, professional tarot reader and metaphysical person. Coming at you to let you know that I am here to demystify the mystical and put you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition. Because, yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition. And I'm going to take out my headphones because for some reason I am just, it's blocking out way more than I want it to do right now. So hopefully everything is working on the two streams. I'm streaming this right now live for you over on my Facebook page and also on my YouTube channel. For those of you who are watching this on IG Live later on or IGTV, I want to keep it to a tight hour so that I can upload this because I don't know, 3 streams is one too many for me. So, yeah. So tonight's episode, we are going to be talking about Mercury retrograde, a little bit about Mercury retrograde because we are currently in it right now, and also scheduling episodes for the month of October. Yes, Lisa, happy Friday indeed. So I wanted to kind of do a twofer for this episode, only to acknowledge that, like, Mercury retrograde, we're in it. We're going to be in it until October 18th, I believe, is when it goes direct or stations direct. We are still in the when it even before Mercury retrograde or after Mercury retrograde, there is something called the shadow period. And sometimes the shadow periods can be even worse than the Mercury retrograde period itself. It really depends on your own personal natal chart, where Mercury fits into your natal chart. And also, sometimes the signs that the current Mercury retrograde is going retrograde through can make a difference as to whether it's feeling fierce or kind of a kinder, gentler Mercury retrograde. So Tamara says, "Oh, we are in it all right," with a big old emoji, eye roll emoji. Yeah, we are. So actually, let me just take out my headphones entirely because they're bothering me. It is distracting me more than helping me at this point. And it is October 1st. So what I usually like to do the first Friday of the month is schedule episodes about the topics that you want to learn about. I do have, and of course I didn't include a cover image this time around, but I did update our scheduling, I guess, infographic to show that I've already planned 2 episodes. One is this episode that we're talking about right now about Mercury retrograde and scheduling episodes. And the other episode we'll have coming up is the Samhain episode, which is part of the Sabbath series that I've been doing. I did skip one because I didn't do one on the autumn equinox because I was on vacation. I wasn't feeling it. So if at any point I can circle back and talk a little bit about the autumn equinox, probably maybe in kind of like a wrap up to the Sabbath series, where you have, like, all the different episodes, but then I'll do a summation of all of the Sabbats and what they mean. That's probably what I'm going to cover autumn equinox. But really quickly, it's like kind of, to me, it's kind of like witch Thanksgiving, really. We gather together, we eat, we celebrate, we talk about what we're grateful for. Yeah, so that's really quickly autumn equinox. So when I started the episode, I did say that I want to keep it to a tight hour so that I can upload this to IGTV after we're done. So I'm going to try and do that and, keep an eye on the time. You don't have to. You can go ahead and enjoy the episode as it is, as it was. So I am going to be running through our astrology, the astro-weather from Teresa Reed. We will get into the topic of the episode, which is, what do you want to learn about? And also a little bit about Mercury retrograde and what it means. A reminder that we do these shows every Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless, of course, I'm not feeling it. And I will always alert you to whether or not an episode is canceled. And then we will end the episode with the weekend forecast, which is either a tarot card or an oracle card to give to the collective so that you can step into the weekend right and knowing what energies are at play during the weekend. So I hope that sounds good to everyone. So I'm just going to leave this up. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to leave this up. What I'm going to do, because I worked on this a little bit when I took the weeks off, I wanted to show you something that I did. And I'm going to try and do this for every episode coming up, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's see how this works. All right, let me upload this. Let's see if it works. This is me being very dangerous and testing something new during Mercury retrograde. We'll talk about it later, but let me know if you guys can't hear it or see it. Did it work? Did it work? Let me know if that worked. Yeah, okay, good. And let me know if you like that. And I'm going to try and do an intro little clip bumper kind of thing for every episode. And maybe I'll get fancy and I will pull from past episodes and do fun clips of me like like sitcom intro style. I don't know. I think it's cute. I think it's fun. Anyway, let is and okay, great. It's working. It worked. And let me know if you liked it. Let me know if you enjoyed it. That was fun for you. All right. So let us get into the astrology from Teresa Reed from the AstroBiz Digest for today, tomorrow, and Sunday. And if you are interested in purchasing a subscription to the AstroBiz Digest, that is going to pop right into the chat for both YouTube and Facebook. Ooh, awesome. So guys, there's a beta going on for Be Live where it automatically shows comments for me and I don't have to go ahead and select them. So that's pretty cool, right? So Tamara says it's super cute. So yes, awesome. So what I was saying about the AstroBiz Digest is this astrology that I get from Teresa Reed, aka the Tarot Lady, is from her wonderful AstroBiz Digest. I am a loyal subscriber. I have been subscribing to this thing ever since she came out with it. And I think it's been like 3 or 4 years, maybe even 5 years. But you get a monthly synopsis right into your email inbox. You get weekly updates for what the astrology is doing and also what that means in layman's terms. So you don't have to, know astrology to benefit from the AstroBiz Digest. Now, keep in mind that the AstroBiz Digest is geared towards entrepreneurs. So a lot of the verbiage that I read from each week has that kind of businessy entrepreneurial vibe, networking, schedule some time with your team, that kind of thing. But the astrology is still the astrology. So, if that verbiage doesn't work for you, please feel free to tweak it in your own mind or remove it, and get the astrology that is helpful to you. Um, and we have a hello from Ann Iva. Hello, how are you doing? So, what I like to do is give the AstroBiz Digest for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but don't give the whole shebang, because I would encourage you to purchase your own subscription to the AstroBiz Digest, and it's very reasonable. It's $99 for the year, and you get so much out of it. I think that she should be charging more. Just saying. Katie is here. Hello, Katie. All right. Is everybody ready to check out what we've got going astrologically for today, tomorrow, and Sunday? I'm going to pull it up right now, because I just got in the monthly summary because it is October 1st. But let me pull up the weekly summary. And we're going to start with the big astrology that's going on right now, which is Mercury in retrograde. All right. Katie's saying go for it. So I'm a gonna. So I'm going to go ahead and show that bumper, and I think we can go ahead and hide that for now. Actually, why? Why? Why do I need to do that? I don't need to do that. I'll just show it again. All right. Katie says we're ready, so we're ready. So this week begins on a sour note with Mercury stationing retrograde. I've been warning you about this for a while now. She really did. So I'll assume you've taken all the proper precautions. Just in case you didn't, back up your computer. Often tech drama is one of the biggest issues during this wonky transit. I've had computers die during Mercury retrograde, and let's cross our fingers and our toesies that won't happen for us tonight. Thank you. Because of the placement in Libra, there are a few other things to watch out for: legal issues, PR fails, and miscommunication. Business relationships can go sideways with a wrongly worded email or tweet. Think carefully before you speak or hit send, and you might avoid embarrassing yourself or pissing someone off. And also, that's good advice whether you're in a Mercury retrograde session or not. Mercury will be direct on October 18th. So we'll all breathe a bit of a sigh of relief on October 18th, or start to, because again, there is that shadow period that occurs both before and after a Mercury retrograde. So that's the big astrology for this week. Now we'll get into the nitty gritty for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Aw. So Dylan Dilly is saying, I got you on the big screen while Nick is making dinner. All right, well, I aim to please, guys. I guess I'm your dinner and a show for tonight, right? Okay. All right, Friday, today. The morning is full of gnarly aspects. Sleep in or take the day off if you can. I could not. The Mercury-Pluto square at 10:26 a.m. Eastern Standard Time casts an ugly, argumentative vibe into the whole day. Everyone wants to fight, the freebie seekers are acting entitled, and trolls are desperate for drama. The news cycle may be full of negativity as well, putting everyone on edge. A bright spot for PR or presentations opens up with the Moon-Mars sextile at 5:46 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that is the reason why I have a show with you guys tonight. Get your face out there now, but crawl back into your bat cave at 11:32 p.m. when the moon squares Uranus. This is an unpredictable and ego-fueled aspect. Do you want to be in the middle of that? No, you don't. Today is a power day for Leo and a weak day for Aquarius. So just to let you know, power day and weekdays, power days are your best days of the month if you're under that astrological sign. And weekdays are when the universe isn't your BFF. On these days, you are at a disadvantage. So really quickly, I wanted to mention that before we go into Saturday and Sunday. And if you believe that you are more than your sun sign, I would definitely pay attention if that is your sun sign that I mentioned as a power day or a weekday, so that you're aware and armed. Knowledge is power. And if you're one of those people that like pays attention to your rising sign or your moon sign, I would pay attention to if I mention those signs as a power day or a weekday. Everyone good and ready for Saturday and Sunday? Huh. Dylan says, really funny. I had a good day today. Nick had a crap day. Leo and Aquarius. Wait, did I just say that? Yeah, power day for Leo and weekday for Aquarius. See, this is the reason why I do this, folks. You cannot mess with the astrology, even sometimes down to the minutes. There's this accuracy. So it's kind of incredible. Excuse me. So Katie says, yes, please. Let's get on with it, right? Okay. Let me take a little bit of water. Hydration break. If you see me drinking water, drink your water. Okay. All right. So Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, Venus sextile powerhouse Pluto at 3:48 a.m. Again, Eastern Standard Time, heightens creative inspiration for the whole weekend. You can come up with great business ideas over the next 2 days, so be sure to set some time aside for brainstorming. This is also an excellent aspect for strengthening relationships, so make an effort to connect with peers, clients, or partners. Saturday afternoon is a mixed bag, starting with the moon opposition Jupiter at 3:29 p.m. This challenging aspect makes it hard to get going. If you feel like procrastinating, indulge in that energy. Indulge in that feeling. Once the moon sextiles Mercury at 4:57 p.m., the energy lifts and you can get everything moving again. This spot is most fab for meetings, networking, and speaking on stage. Once the moon squares Venus and stations void at 7:43 p.m., it's best to close up shop. Now, for Sunday morning, the moon will enter Virgo. Now you can tackle whatever you didn't finish this week. Take care of tasks, edit your work, and declutter every aspect of your business, including the office. A few wounded types are looking for attention when the sun opposes Chiron at 11:51 a.m. Ignore them and keep your eyes on the work prize. Get in front of the media at 8:05 p.m. when Mercury trines Jupiter. This is an excellent evening for PR, public speaking, and lively live streams. Ooh, so maybe I'll do a live stream on Sunday night. Make that noise and get that cash. Saturday is a power day for Leo and a weekday for Aquarius. So Dylan and Nick, watch out for tomorrow as well. Power day for Leo and weekday for Aquarius. And Sunday is a power day for Virgo and a weekday for Pisces. Whew! That is a lot of information, folks. Tamara says, Aquarius and us Caps agree. LOL. Don't know what that was regarding, but sure. As for me, I am a Aries sun sign. I am a triple Aries. I have Aries in the sun, Venus, and Mars. And then my rising sign ascendant is Capricorn. So sometimes people mistake me for a Capricorn with my practicality, but I'm not. I'm an Aries. So what I like to do is open up the floor to any questions people might have, or if they had like a hard time on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, like any specific day that you were feeling like, oh, I wonder what the astrology was for that, because that was a really crappy day or that was a really good day. Feel free to ask in the chat. I will take a quick look at it and let you know what Teresa said about that day. And then we've got to move on to talking about Mercury retrograde and scheduling some of these episodes. So start to brainstorm now, folks. And while we do that, I'm going to go ahead and drop the counter in here. I'll give that about 2 minutes. And start. All right. While we do that, I'm going to drink some more water. I'm really loving these bottles that I got from Water Drop. I have this is a 20 ounce, and I also got a 34 ounce glass bottle, and I got a 34 ounce steel bottle for my husband. And it really has been helping us drink more water. They have glass bottles, steel bottles, I think 14 ounces, 32 ounces, 20 ounces, accessories, and also the name of their company is Water Drop. They're little like drops that you can put in your water to flavor your water, all natural. Most of them are no calories, and it helps you drink more water. It makes your water more palatable. Not that I have necessarily a problem with drinking water just plain, but having a little bit of flavor to your water, I don't know, and it encourages you to drink more. I've definitely been drinking more water than I ever had before. Aw, that is so cute. Petey and Athena are trying to find you because they're hearing my voice. Aw. I know that's got to be pretty confusing for kitties. All right, about 20 seconds left. Ask me about the astrology for the past week or forever you hold your peace until next week. All right, that's it. Time's up. Let's move on. Okay. So let us talk a little bit about Mercury in retrograde before we move on to scheduling episodes, because I do want to, empower you to understand that Mercury is actually not out to get you when it turns retrograde. There is a rhyme and a reason to this astrological phenomenon. And also, the reason why a lot of people hear about Mercury retrograde is because it happens so often. It happens 3 to 4 times a year for about 3 weeks for each Mercury retrograde period. So, this is the reason why Mercury retrogrades come up a lot in conversation. And even people that aren't really in touch with astrology or metaphysical stuff will come up to me and be like, what the hell is going on? And I'm just like, it's Mercury retrograde. Like, even people that are like not really in touch with that, they feel the effects of a Mercury retrograde. And I don't know, I feel like I did a past episode on Mercury retrograde horror stories. I could be wrong. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just like, I think I did do an episode on Mercury retrograde. Because I've been doing these episodes pretty much every week for the past 2 years. So I would find it very strange if I haven't covered the topic of Mercury retrograde. So let me go ahead and look through the Tarot by Hilary live archives and see if we can find that video, that I'm not going completely crazy. Right, exactly. Exactly. Dylan says, I feel like you did. I know, I feel like I did too. But gotta go look. I'll go check and see. Well, I know that this is working on YouTube. Let's see. Mercury. I did. I did. I am not crazy. July 2020, share your Mercury retrograde stories. And I think that was when I first started simulcasting to the different streams. So that was part of the reason why I think I was testing fate at that time. Let's see. Let's take a look. Let's use the media. I have got the video. I've got the receipts to prove it. Here it is. I remembered, guys. I remembered. All right, this means I do have to put my headphones in just to make sure I'm hearing what you guys are hearing. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Is it working? I hope, and I pray that it's working. We are trying this out. I know it is crazy for me to be trying out something new tech-wise when Mercury is in retrograde, and we're going to talk all about your Mercury in retrograde horror stories, because I know I've had quite a few myself. But let's see, let's cross our fingers that this time around we are actually simulcasting live both to my Facebook page and to my YouTube channel. So, killing two birds with one stone, using two social media platforms at the same time. Like, yes, right? Yes. Gosh, I hope I can navigate this correctly. Oh, so I have someone here. Hello, Dawn Marie. I'm going to check my settings first of all, make sure that both are broadcasting. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like we're live in both places. Oh my goodness, it finally worked. Yes. All right. Introductions. If you have not met me before, or if you're not, I'm going to go ahead and pause this and see if I can push this forward a little bit. Because the problem with doing this is I can't seem to fast forward this. All right. I am going to hide myself and see if I can control it a little bit better. A regular viewer, welcome to my weekly show, Tarot by Hilary, live. It happens every Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless, of course, I'm taking a week off, which I did last week because, boy, howdy, it was a week and I needed a break. And it was also a break from the work day as well, because I am working my day job from home as well as being still your neighbor. All right. Interesting experiment there. But so at the very least, I know that it works. And actually, this side-by-side tarot might work. But anyway, I'm Hilary. I'm a professional tarot reader. I can't hover over it and pull it forward for some reason. So anyway, I have done an episode, but I did want to talk a little bit again about Mercury retrograde, just to emphasize, like what it's about, letting you guys know when it ends. And then also we can talk about scheduling other episodes. Yeah, see, exactly. Like, are you guys sensing a theme here? Because I sure am. Like, I like to tempt fate, but the simulcasting worked then. The simulcasting is working now as well because I've tested it both ways. So now I don't have to start every single episode with testing it and saying that I'm testing it, and checking that everything is working. But yeah, some of the things you just have to experiment. And I think that's part of the good thing about Mercury in retrograde as well. Like, you can, it gives you the time and the space to really think things through or go over things or review things. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Um, I'm going to go ahead and drop in that particular link to that episode before I go ahead and no, I don't need to remove the source. I'm just going to go ahead and hide that source. So that episode is actually available not just on the YouTube archives. It's also available on Facebook Watch in that listing of videos as well. But for me, it's just been easier to curate those weekly shows using a playlist in YouTube. But it is available in both places if you would prefer to find it on Facebook Watch. All of those are in the workshops playlist in Facebook Watch. So wherever you want to stream from, you can go ahead and do that. So the name of it is um, Share Your Mercury, Share Your Mercury RX Horror Stories, and you can basically see that thumbnail there. And I'm just going to display that link so you can find it later. So, really quickly, I'm going to read a little bit from an article that I wrote about Mercury retrograde. I think I've written two on my website, but I do want to just hit upon a few key points regarding Mercury retrograde, what it means. And basically what to do during a Mercury retrograde and what to avoid or triple check during a Mercury retrograde. Because unfortunately, you can't go and say to a real estate agent, well, I'd like to close on the house, but I don't want to close on the house during the Mercury retrograde. You may come off as a flake or they won't understand. So sometimes you do have to you do have to sign contracts, or you do have to close on a house, or you do have to um, do something important during a Mercury retrograde, and it can't be avoided, which is why the recommendation is always like avoid signing contracts during a Mercury retrograde. But if you can't avoid it, then just make sure that you're triple checking everything, including the fine print. Mercury retrograde is really a time to review using the prefix re for almost everything that you do. Make sense to everyone? So let me quote some of this. Okay. The things that can be accomplished during a Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde is not a good time to start projects, but it is a good time for finishing the unfinished ones. Do you have a knitting project that's been sitting? Upset with your job? Don't start a new one during this time period, but do revise your resume. Um, so I do have a couple of articles to recommend about Mercury retrograde. So this citation is from Maria Shaw from her article Mercury retrograde, What Is It Good For? She says, think of any word that has an RE in front of it. That's what Mercury retrograde is good for, redoing just about anything. So let's see. So what Mercury rules is travel, technology, and communication. So those three things, or those three topics, are going to be the things that are most affected during a retrograde period. For example, like being misunderstood, car trouble, trouble with traffic, people driving like maniacs, computer malfunctions. You're not crazy, it's just Mercury retrograde. Any questions about that? Because I'm looking at the chat, and hopefully we're still streaming, and then I'm not tempting fate by saying Mercury retrograde, and like jinxing it. So there's another aspect to Mercury retrograde that I really didn't consider, and I can't remember who originally posted this, but it was some reader that I follow on Instagram, and they said, "Well, it's Mercury retrograde again, so it's time for my social media sabbatical." And reading sabbatical, because I don't do readings and I don't do social media when there's a Mercury retrograde, and that's my time that I take out of my schedule, or the ingestion of social media, to prioritize myself, to really think about things, or thinking about my offers, or thinking about what I do or what I want to do, or what's working, what's not working. Um, and so I was just like, wow, that's a really great idea. I had never considered that, or I never thought that was an option until I saw somebody else do it. So this, I think, is the third Mercury retrograde in which I am instilling my Mercury retrograde social media sabbatical and reading hiatus. So I am not accepting readings right now until after October 18th. You can still get on my schedule by going to my website, tarotbyhilary.com. It's right here displayed. Um, and so you can get on my schedule because I do have an online scheduling system, and it'll display for you the first available appointments. Just knowing that the first available appointment is going to be after October 18th. Um, and this is a wonderful time for me to really study, what my social media patterns are, what I'm ingesting, not just food wise, but what am I consuming content wise. What images am I looking at? What am I feeling when I'm seeing those images? Is it a feeling of competition? Is it a feeling of comparison syndrome or imposter syndrome? um, because I think that a lot of us are more careful about maybe the foods that we eat or the things that we drink, but we're not as aware of the media that we're consuming, and how that has an effect on our spirituality and our mentality, our mental state as well. So this is so again, this is the third time that I've done this, and I have been finding it has been really helpful for my mental state. And also, it is kind of like a brainstorming period where I'm not going to roll out anything new, but I'm really thinking about, like, what readings I'm offering, and is it worth the return on investment that I'm getting. So I'm examining my email readings, whether or not I want to continue to do email readings, whether it's worth it to me, or whether it's more hassle than it's worth. The same thing for my different appointment options. Do I want to still be offering a half hour or hour option, or do I want to deepen my relationship with my clients and only offer a 45-minute to an hour time slot for every single reading, because I don't like surface. Like, I don't like the surface wham bam thank you ma'am kind of tarot reading anymore. I mean, yes, I'll do readings for the public, or I'll do like a quick card here and there, or of course the weekend forecast. Or last night, I went on Instagram with Jamie and Melissa, who are my co-hosts of the Card Slingers Coast to Coast podcast, and we did a few readings, and we raised money for Planned Parenthood. So that's not the kind of like surface reading that I'm talking about. I'm talking more about my one-on-one work with clients, and how I'm just like, I don't want to offer a 15-minute or a half an hour reading, because I feel like we're just getting into the good stuff when the reading has to end. And I mean, I understand different, price points, but ultimately, if I'm working in the way that I think I work best, my clients are only going to benefit from that. So those are some of the realizations I've been having for um, this Mercury retrograde sabbatical, and also past Mercury retrograde sabbaticals. So hope that makes sense to everybody. Hope that possibly, if you are a reader, and you do offer readings, consider trying that trying out a Mercury retrograde sabbatical for either social media or readings or both, and see if it works for you. Um, so Katie says, all is good. Mercury seems to be a time I'm always tired. Yes, yes, I get that too. Tamara says, good for you. Thank you. Thank you. And Dylan says, the longer time for a reading makes so much more sense. Yeah, I thought, well, I mean, you're a reader too, Dylan. So, you understand. And also, like I think we were talking about this last weekend as well, or this past weekend, where you're just like, that's not going to benefit you because, by the way, Dylan is my bestie, and she's also a wonderful massage therapist, a natural medium, and also reads tarot cards. But I think it was similar to what you were saying about a booking for a massage or body work. It's just like, it's not worth it. Like, I can, like, 15 minutes, like, no, like, you have to have 45 minutes or an hour in order to have a real benefit. Otherwise, like, there's nothing I can really do for you. Exactly. I know I remember talking with you about this, and I was just like, huh, yeah. But wouldn't that be the same? Like, it's like almost like massage therapy is like work on the body, but like a tarot reading can be work on the soul. So you don't want to short shrift that, right? Anyway, so that's a little bit about Mercury retrograde, what Mercury retrograde means, and some ways to navigate the energy and work with the energy that's happening instead of working or railing against the energy. When you're commuting or when you're driving, give yourself extra time. If you're traveling, give yourself extra time, because, if you do give yourself that extra time and there isn't a delay, then you have that time to chill out and relax a little bit. But if you've given yourself that extra time and there is a delay, you may have already, I guess, adjusted for that so that you're ahead of the game. Um, Double and triple check all contracts you need to sign, or avoid them if you can. Sometimes that's not possible. And also, be kind in your communication. Make sure that you're being clear with your communication, both written and verbal. And also, Mercury retrograde can be a time where boundary work is so important, where it's just like, no, I'm not going to do that, or no, I'm not available, or yes, I am available. Um, in short, just be clear and kind in your communication. Give yourself some extra time and some extra grace, and you too will survive another round of Mercury retrograde. So, knowing that we only have about 10 minutes left, I did want to cover very briefly, considering we only have 10 minutes left. I want to make sure I give you that weekend forecast because I know you all find it helpful, and I know people have told me, like, I need that weekend forecast. I can't live without the weekend forecast. But I do want to discuss some of the topics that I will be teaching. So I did mention this at the top of the episode. So this episode is about Mercury retrograde. We just talked about it, and also scheduling. So the dates that I have available, we have next week, Friday, October 8th. We have October 15th, and we have October 22nd. So that means there are 3 topics that we need to slot in there. So now is the time. Please go ahead and drop your thoughts into the chat wherever you're tuning in from, and let me know. This may be an episode where we don't finalize the schedule. And that's okay. And if you're watching the replay later on, and you want to suggest a topic, I will take all of that feedback and I will go ahead and slot in the topics that people want to learn about. And don't feel like you have to suggest an entirely new topic. If it's a topic that I've already taught before, we can revisit it again. I'm happy to do so because sometimes I learn more things, or sometimes I adjust my opinion, or sometimes I completely reverse my opinion. And that's totally okay because we're all learning, we're growing, and, our perspectives on things aren't static. They're constantly growing and evolving as we grow and evolve and learn more. So I'm going to give you guys a minute or so. Go ahead, drop it into the chat, what topics you want to learn about for this month. And yeah, let's do it. We may have to do another rereading of The Blue Nosed Witch by Margaret Embry, which we did last year. I did a little spooky story time hour, and I read The Blue Nosed Witch, which is what I read or reread every single year during, the Halloween spooky season. So we may want to do that. Actually, I'm going to write that down as a possibility in the blank space over here. Blue nosed witch. Don't everyone talk at once. we've got we've got stuff to do. We still got the weekend forecast, so trying to keep it tight, folks. um, mm. Katie says, "Was there topics we missed that we wanted to add, or should we make it past is past, onwards ever onwards?" Um, I don't know. I feel like I took some of the past episodes that I was supposed to teach a month ago or the month before, and like slotted them in going forward. And I think we there's no end for topics, you know. Um, we can always revisit. There's always more to learn, right? But from my list, I think we have. I think we Let me see. I'm looking at my notes, and it's just coming up. Do less so you can do more. Some EFT, we definitely did that. Yeah, I think we got through the list. Ooh, but I just did see one of the recommendations that I've been giving to people. So, um if people are or are not familiar with freezer spells, that's like a kind of like very nice and light kind of entry into spellcraft if you're so inclined. So let me know if a freezer spell class is something interesting to you. I've written it down as an idea. Um, Dylan says having a revisit to some topics with new learned information or experiences can be fun. Well, I mean, we've got a whole slew in the archives, so have a think about it and get back to me. We still do have to do the I mean, we've done 2 episodes on boundaries. Um, and I'm actually back into the boundary boot camp that I was telling you guys about for the fall 2021 round. Um, and it's still kicking my ass. It's like amazing. But again, that's for me. Like I'm trying to absorb it for me, not necessarily to go and turn around and teach it. So that eventually we may do a boundaries part 3, but now is not the time. I've got to ingest it first. Katie says Blue Nose Witch reading was wonderful. I loved it. Okay, well, I'm gonna write that down. I think we're gonna do that on the 22nd then, because I do want to do the Samhain episode on the 29th, which is part of the Sabbath series. So I'm gonna slot in Blue Nosed Witch, and that means now we are down to 2-2. So I'm going to give this another minute. Um, and y'all can think about it and get back to me. You can always drop it into the comments or send me a DM about possible topics that you want to learn this month. And obviously, we don't you don't have to do just two. Like, give me all the topics that you can think of, because we can then take those topics and move them into November and December and January, because I'm going to keep on doing this live show every single week, for as long as I am having fun with it and as long as you guys are enjoying it. So we need two more topics, but I'm pretty sure I can come up with those topics, or you can provide me those topics. So as of right now, we have tonight's episode, which is nearly over. Thank you very much. We have Friday the 8th. We have Friday the 15th to slot in a topic. On the 22nd, I will be reading The Blue-Nosed Witch for Spooky Story Time by Margaret Embry. And on the 29th, we will be talking about the Sabbat of Samhain, which is part of the Sabbat series of workshops. So any other topic ideas, you can go ahead and drop it into the chat. I will look at all of the chats later, or you can email me or message me, because it's time for the weekend forecast. We need to get into it. We need to chop. I'm trying to keep it to a tight hour. All right. Pick your poison. Starseed Oracle or Work Your Light Oracle for tonight. And I'm going to pull one card from either. Not both. Either. All right. Dylan is saying Starseed. And Katie says, first come, first served, Starseed it is. I mean, a lot of people have been grooving with the Starseed one, and I can't blame them. It's nice, it's energetic, it's cool packaging. I don't know. People are definitely vibing with it. I didn't even notice the bottom of this. Look at this. Your heart is a portal. I didn't even notice that until right now. And I've been working with this deck for at least a year. So that's kind of funny. All right. The Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell with artwork by Danielle Noel. Danielle Noel is also the artist of the Moonchild's Tarot and the Starchild's Tarot. If you want to get all tarot-y, those are her two decks. All right, let's do it. What do we need to know for this weekend? Besides all the astrology that we got from Therese Reed earlier. All right. This is an interesting card for us to be getting during Mercury Retrograde. And it's actually a card that I have never pulled before, not for myself, not for a client. So very, very interesting. So we are getting the I'm Sorry card. Defenselessness, righting past wrongs, and uprooting. Beautiful card. Everyone see that? So let me look up where this is. Okay. Keeping it tight. I'm sorry. We're living in divisive times. When we're hurt and triggered, we tend to see things as a personal attack rather than an opportunity for healing. If we're to find true peace and unity, we need to drop our defenses and see things outside of right and wrong. As souls, we intrinsically remember unity and yearn for it here on earth. Perhaps this is why it feels so painful when we experience the opposite. But it's crucial to remember that we can't simply bypass reality and pretend that unity, love, and forgiveness are here. This is one of the greatest challenges for starseeds. To bring about unity, we must first acknowledge the ways in which both we and the world have been divisive, personally, ancestrally, and collectively. The shadows, hate, wounds, separation, severing, wrongs, and sadness. You may be called to explore how you, your ancestors, or your society have, consciously or unconsciously, inflicted pain on others. To find a way to drop the armor around your heart and see things as they truly are for people. To say, I'm sorry, with an open heart and mean it. To be part of the healing rather than a perpetuation of inherited conflict or oppression. This isn't about blame. It's about unwinding the patterning that got us here. You may be called to devote your time to causes you believe in or do healing work on your ancestral line. So the Starseed Soul Inquiry is, how are you being called to drop your defenses and unwind past wrongs? So this is a very, very powerful card to get, especially when we were just talking about the astrology for today, tomorrow, and Sunday, also being in Mercury retrograde. This is almost like, I don't know, it just feels thematically right to have this card come up during a Mercury retrograde and during this like astrological stuff that we're going through. So I don't really think I have anything to add to the companion book or the guidebook's interpretation of this card, besides saying, say you're sorry when you are really sorry, and also don't use I'm sorry as like an automatic response, because I think there's a difference between what this card is saying and overly apologizing constantly, which unfortunately, if you're female presenting, you've kind of been trained to just apologize, almost apologize for existing, or apologize for taking up space. This is not what this card is talking about. This card is a very heart-centered approach to what saying you're sorry and making up for it really means, rather than having it be just something that is said or something that is automatic. It's a real reconciliation rather than just words. So, yes, exactly. Katie says, requires a bit of digestion, perfect for retrograde thinking about. Yep. So I hope all of you enjoyed the weekend forecast. I'm going to be thinking about that card for a very long time, at least the entire weekend. I'm probably going to put it on my altar as well, to really remember that energy, and have it there as a reminder. And feel free to take a screenshot of the replay, so that you can see that card. Also, you can always go to RebeccaCampbell.me. And she has posted a lot of these cards and their interpretation, because this is her deck as well. So if you want more stuff like that, you can definitely go to Rebecca Campbell's website, RebeccaCampbell.me. Be careful when you're typing that in, because I think there is an adult film star that is also named Rebecca Campbell. So don't confuse the two. There's nothing wrong with that, but just don't confuse the two. All right. That's it, folks. It's another episode of Tarot by Hilary live in the books. Thank you all so much for watching. Once again, I am Hilary, professional tarot reader, demystifying the mystical and putting you in touch with your own intuition, because yes, my friend, do not argue with me. You have intuition. Have a wonderful, wonderful night, a great weekend, and I will see you next time, Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye.